to the Casa.
Hello, welcome. My name is Michael. I'm the executive chef of Lila Toronto. For this episode of Prato Casa, we are making Bife Casa done my way. Bife Casa holds a different place in my heart. It is a dish that my father has made for me God knows how many times. It is something that I truly love. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just thinly slicing the Yukon potatoes on a mandolin. Just doing them till they're paper thin because we're going to turn these into potato chips. What you want to do from here is then put them into water. You just want to get rid of some of the starchiness in it. It'll actually help to crisp up the chip a little bit more. So we're just going to let that sit for a little bit. Next up, we're going to season our beef. Our strip loin here, we've been sitting at room temp to get it up to temp. So just going to go very generous amount of salt. Don't be scared. Both sides. And then we're gonna go with our pepper as well. I go a little lighter on the pepper when I'm searing off any steak or grilling because I feel that it burns. So I usually finish the steak with black pepper. Perfect. So now that the steak has been seasoned, we're getting our pan hot over here. Just gonna add in your vegetable oil, about 2 tablespoons worth of veg oil. It will have a smoking point, so what you wanna do from here is you wanna stick it away from you. The steak, always push away from you, never towards you. So go from here. We're just searing both sides of the steak. We're getting nice color on it. For when you're searing steak, it's usually there is a method behind it that you should just sear one side and then sear another side and rest. It all depends on what you want to do with it. For me personally, I'm gonna sear both sides. I'm gonna go lighter on the second side and I'm gonna baste the actual steak in butter. It'll just add a little bit extra layer of flavor. If you have any garlic or thyme or rosemary or anything in there, you wanna put that in as you're basting. But right now, at the color that it's at, we're just gonna do this. Sear. Let this go for about 1 minute on this side. Make sure that you're patting it down and allowing for all the edges of the meat to actually touch. At this point, when we're about to add the butter in, you're gonna drop the temp, or even you're just gonna lower your temperature. Take your butter. You don't have to go too crazy. Just add your butter in. From here, I'm gonna push my steak up to the top, and then we're just gonna baste really quickly. This adds another level of fat, adds another level of flavor. This richness that comes from butter is really what sets it off. So basted. What I'm gonna do now is rest my steak. Okay, so next up, Bife Casa is a really quick dish. It is, like I've said throughout this entire segment, it is a very fan favorite of mine. I would love to eat this every single day. Just, you know, red meat, not the best option. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna empty out the water in the potatoes. What you wanna do is drain them out. So you're gonna put a piece of paper towel down on a plate. The reason is once you fry these, we're gonna fry them twice. So your first fry you're gonna want on a medium to low heat, closer to the low side, and you're just gonna put your potatoes in. What you're doing here is called a double cook. What this does is actually gets the chip to be a little bit crispier. So as this is frying, I'm just watching them. I'm trying to see on to the point where they start to turn almost into a golden brown. Okay, now that I feel like they've fried long enough, they're starting to get some little bit of the crispiness, the little goldenness to it. They softened a bunch, so it's gonna actually help it out a little bit more. What you're gonna do is just gonna pull them out. They don't have to be like perfectly put onto the parchment, onto the paper. You just wanna do this so you drain out a lot of that oil. If you have like a spider or like a slotted spoon, this would be infinitely faster. So then we're gonna do one more batch and then we'll start to finish up the dish. So whenever I do this, I just move them around a little bit, just so I'm agitating them and they're all getting coated. Especially if you're using a smaller pot, this is what you want to try to aim for. Okay, now that this is ready to go, I'm just gonna take them out and we're gonna start to get ready to finish this dish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reheat my steak. Okay, so in the pan we added a little bit of olive oil, sorry, a little bit of veg oil, a little bit of butter, because we're just gonna bring back up to temp the steak. So we take our steak, put it back into the pan, let that heat up. Once you get like a beautiful sear on it, you're gonna take it off and then you're gonna place it on your plate. So as I'm reheating this, I'm gonna put my potato chips back into the oil. The oil is now at a high temp. You just wanna dunk them in there. Let these things get nice and crispy, and then you're good to go. Turn down your heat to low. Like I said, you're gonna add in your oil. And add in a few more knobs of butter. The reason you add the butter into the pan is to help make sure that the egg doesn't stick. And like I said, you're just going for a little bit more flavor on here. So, crack your egg. So now that my steak is done, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in the center of the plate, like so. I'm gonna take my negi shiro, sorry. I'm just gonna place this all along the steak. Creating almost like a little layer on top of it, almost like a blanket. Add a little bit of lemon juice just for some freshness. From here to speed up the egg, just gonna baste on top. Last up, we're gonna take our egg, place this on top of your steak like so. Take your potato chips out of the oil. They got this beautiful golden crispy look to them. Beautiful golden crispy. Take your salt, generous amount of salt on there. And then potato chips on top. And that right there is my version of Bife Casa. Family's dish, and it's delicious.